my name is Casie Tynee Goshow, and this is my video out. I identify as lesbian, and my pronouns are just she, hey, it, me, yeah. Oh, Pennsylvania. Yes, I am from Pennsylvania, a small town called Harleysville, and it's a lot of farms. Yeah, a lot of cows. It's really riveting culture. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a log cabin in the woods. So my mom is Filipino, and so her mom was 100% Filipino. She's Hapa, and so my mom was raised with pretty strict, Filipino just lifestyle and morals, and I'm honestly, anybody who's basically, in my opinion, not from a white family has had these kind of expectations of family, and how you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to act, and there's a wife and there's a husband and they take care of each other, and so yeah, that's what I'm thinking my whole life is what it's gonna be. And my mom was pretty, when I told her I was moving in with my boyfriend, she flipped out. Lost it. She was like, this is not acceptable behavior. I was like, we're gonna be okay. But I will say that had a factor in me coming out as well, because I knew it was going to be not an easy thing. I knew that, just because of where I grew up in this small town, and because my mom is part Filipino and just has had that pretty, intense childhood, as well as my dad, his side of the family is Mennonite. So, this is not good odds for me. We got bonnets over here, Amish, and then we got, Filipino traditions. Good luck. So I was pretty scared to come out to my family. And my mom, of course, outed me, as I feel like some parents do when they're frustrated about not knowing what's going on in your life and you're not ready to tell somebody. And that's basically what happened. Is my mom called me up and was like, I've seen photos of you with these people and they look different, and what's up with that? And and my mom, I love you, and she's come around now, thank God, after so much time and love and talking, lots of talking. Be open to talking, you have to. But she basically told me that if she were to go hang out in a bar enough nights in a row, that she would become an alcoholic, because she's around that behavior. That's what my mom's first reaction was to me coming out. So for me, that was pretty rough. I'm like, Mom, I'm not lesbian by association. It's not like a sickness. It's not like you rub against somebody and you're like, I'm gay. But honestly, wow, I wish that kind of was the world that we lived in. But that's not actually what happens, guys, believe it or not. We've all deal with this our own way, and we all come out differently. And my mom was like, I want answers, as moms demand all the time. And she was not going to let me get off that phone without telling her. So, I pretty much was just shouting it from the rooftop. I was like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. Yeah, we're dating. And then we hung up. That was the end of that. My brother calls me literally 30 seconds later and goes, what did you do? He's like, I'm the troublemaker of the family. I make her cry, not you. So this must be bad. I was like, it's not bad. I'm gay. I guess I'm telling you now too. And my brother was like, cool. Is she hot? Like a brother, was such a white boy cis thing to say. She hot? But, my family was fine after time. And that's the thing, is you have to know that there is no time in which someone is going to come around to you being you. And finally, because you've been living like this your whole life of struggling to tell somebody, they're just finding out. So while you're liberated and you feel amazing, you're gonna have a lot of negative reaction when that happens. Just being in a super small town though, you just are super sheltered from really, like, in my opinion, real life and what real world is. And I didn't really know what that was until I left my town and I went to college. I don't think I knew when I was younger, but I will say this. I was really little, and I know that I loved my girlfriends more than anybody probably was supposed to. I just, again, like I said, I wanted to be friends with everybody, but for some reason when it came to my girlfriends, I would get very possessive of them. I would get really upset if they would hang out with other guys or other girls and they weren't with me. I remember specifically, though, I did try to kiss one of my girlfriends, but I was so young. Like, I don't think in my head I was thinking I'm kissing a girl. I think I was just thinking I'm kissing someone I like, and I want to show that. And how do I know? I've seen in movies that people kiss each other, and I've never, like, you know, on TV back then in the 80s, no one was doing LGBTQ commercials, let's be real, okay? So I've never seen a lesbian, anyone who's trans, I've never seen anybody in drag, I never have seen any of that my whole life, but I knew already that young that I had these feelings for somebody else without ever having seen it. So did I know? I don't know, but maybe somewhere inside of me, yeah, I think I did. But it wasn't until I got to college and had a boyfriend, but I went to a club. I feel like a lot of people's stories start like this. I went to a club, and it happened to be a queer night, and I had no idea that my school even had that. Not a clue at all. And I went, and everyone's just dancing, having a great time, obviously. And I'm a dancer, so of course I'm out there doing my thing. Break dancing in a club, just don't do it, but unless you can actually do it safely. But I was like out there doing my thing, and this group of girls approached me, and they were like, "Hey, who are you?" Like, we've never seen you ever. And I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm not thinking anything of it at this point. I think I got really nervous because, you know, it's a queer night. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're gay, maybe they're not, I don't know. They're probably thinking the same thing about me, though. And I was there with my dance crew. And this girl was like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" I said, "Okay, of course." And I mean, that's that. Hung out, and all kinds of things happened. And I think for me, that was when I knew, though, that I was sexually attracted to women for real. This was not a figment of my imagination. It wasn't a unicorn. It was real. So that was the first time for me that I was like, wow, okay, I might be gay here. I talked about it to one of my best friends, someone I could trust, who I knew wouldn't judge me, and truly love me for who I was. Thanks, Carrie. So it wasn't until I moved to New York City that things changed. I moved to New York City and with my boyfriend, and we're both dancers, so we're trying to make it as professional dancers, work in studios, get jobs within the dance industry so that we can start working, okay, and pursuing our dreams. Fast forward, I start working as a go-go dancer for money on the side. I absolutely love it. I finally discover my feminine side that exists within me. I always dressed in baggier clothes. I always liked how I looked in them way more. But when I started go-go dancing, I was like, oh, I feel sexy and feminine, and I can be both. And when I was go-go dancing, I got a friend referred me to a job for this group called Truck Stop Girls, which if you are lesbian in the past 5 years, you know what Truck Stop is. Truck Stop was a once-a-month party that happened in Lower Manhattan, and it was basically Coyote Ugly for lesbians. We all had an identity, and I was the rocker chick because I have tattoos. You can't see them now, but so my name was Rocket, and I was my personality for the night, and I was just dancing on stage as this person. And it was okay to be obviously a lesbian in that moment because I'm at a lesbian party. This is a safe space for anyone who's queer, gay, bi, whatever, straight. I mean, it didn't matter. Like, everyone is welcome here. And pretty much through that party, I found a group of friends, and they were just this group of women that I just found so amazing and so inspiring, and everyone was just totally themselves. And through that, I was like, wow, these women are they're just being themselves, and so unapologetically, and they're happy, and I wanted that. I wanted to feel that. And so I started dating somebody, and I did find out that, you know, I can have an emotional connection with somebody and sexual, and that for me pretty much is all you need to know. And so at that moment, when I was working for Truck Stop Girls, kind of is when I figured out that I really am lesbian, and this is not a phase, that this is who I am. For me, as a professional dancer and choreographer, I teach a lot of kids, and I tour the country every single week to all places of the United States, which is awesome. But for me, once I met my now wife at the time, me posting about, like on Instagram, once that became a thing, about me truly being myself was a real breaking point for me of like, am I going to make this part of my brand of like who I am? Am I going to make sure that I'm advocating? And like, it really was a struggle for me, because the dance industry at the time we weren't really talking about these things. You know, we weren't talking about being queer, and we weren't doing dance videos with 2 guys and 2 girls. Like, that wasn't a thing. So once I was dating my wife, she kind of gave me the strength to be like, you can do this. Like, people aren't going to change how much they love you. Like, kids love you. They're not going to now hate you because of who you are. And she's like, and if they do, that's not them, that's their parents probably imparting that knowledge onto them. So I took a deep breath, and I, you know, made a post one day, and there was, of course, some comments that were just, you know, okay, that's intense, but mostly love. But of course, we're human, so we always remember the one negative thing. So that for me was a really hard time of just being like, this is me, and I'm gonna put my stamp on it. But as soon as I really was putting it out there, it just, oh my gosh, everything changed. Like, parents would come up to me crying at a dance convention, and just say, you saved my family. You opened my eyes, and you're just you. There I go. But like, you know, to know that, you know, I can change like a kid's life, and their life is better, you know, and just for being me, that's crazy. Whoa. Sorry. I had my period, sorry. I have my hormones are not normally like this. I swear. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh God, we need like a 5-minute break.
Yeah, good time.
Oh my God. I think just teaching little kids has opened my eyes to just how we just have to be ourselves, because we're leading the next generation. So if we're not leading by example, what world are we going to create? So for me, I just need to be myself truly in every facet of my life. So of course, when I'm not gonna hide that I love my wife. I'm not gonna not post about that. I'm not going to, mute things in my life just because it's gonna make somebody feel uncomfortable. That's not me. That's you being uncomfortable. And that's fine. You don't have to look, right? You don't have to hit the like button. You don't have to say anything at all. Just leave it there, Let that be for whoever it needs to be there for. Nobody, regardless of, what we identify as, we're all different. Every single person is truly themselves. And how I was brought up, maybe we do look alike, but how I was brought up is probably different than how you were brought up, and maybe how I live my life is different than you live your life. But that's beautiful. I think a world full of people who are the same we can't learn anything from that world. I just hope that as we move forward, that more people are just going to come towards everything in life with open arms whether that's race or gender, or how you identify sexually. I just think that everyone is so unique and so special, and we all have something amazing to offer to the world and to each other. Be you all day. Yay. Rainbows!